Now, how's it doing? Hope everybody's doing well and keeping well. So I just want to talk for a second because I always wanted to talk about this and I never got around to it. I might as well say I never got around to it. I might have talked about it briefly for a few minutes before, but I want to talk about the Irish in America and the Irish in Australia, New Zealand, and all across the world. Irish really everywhere. Ireland's literally everywhere across the world, and it's a good thing. But particularly, I want to talk about America for a second. So as we know, the whole west coast of America, it's literally full of people who have family that came from Ireland. So basically half Irish in the woods. And obviously America, we have to say it straight. Ireland kind of built America, and we might as well say it straight. During the famine, as we know, many people left only with a prayer and maybe a small bit of belongings, nothing. Basically left with nothing. And hoping for a better opportunity. In the free world, in America. In the land of hope. And obviously the Irish turned up in America. Some of them had something, some of them had maybe a few shillings, maybe a few bits and bobs, But they ended up in America and they had nothing. They had nothing that worked. And I think everybody would agree with me. We see all these big skyscrapers in New York, for example. The majority of people who worked in them were Irish people. The majority of them who built them. It's the same with everything. The majority Irish people done the majority of the work in America. In the proceeding before the famine, during the famine, and after the famine. There's even a famous picture. Of people, the workers sitting on the beam eating their lunch. They were all Irish people. Who were sitting on the beam hundreds of miles up. In the air, just casually having their lunch as you do. But again, it's the thing about this is that the Irish, when they first went to America, this is the thing you always find interesting about looking at this. The Irish, when they went to America, they were taught as rats, and they weren't really taught much of. But again, and as one of my history teachers said, they worked themselves up. They didn't get handouts or anything like that. They worked themselves up to the ground. They worked their reputation up. And they done hard physical labour, hard work to try and get a good reputation, trying to earn a decent wage. And that's how the Irish became, in America became known, because they worked hard. They worked very, very hard. They worked hard to achieve something in America. Something that they never could achieve in Ireland. And obviously Irish people ended up being senators and congressmen and everything like that, and being in local authorities in America. And they worked their way up. And as you can see, there's tons of presidents, like Joe Biden, for example. He does, and even Donald Trump probably has Irish ancestors. Like every American president had Irish ancestors. We have to say so, every Irish, because there's half America, 25 million people claim Irish heritage in America. That's a lot. That's only in one country. That's not even including any other country. How many Irish is in America? It's only 25 that are claiming Irish heritage. How many Irish are in America? Like, there could be 3, 5 million, 6 million, 7 million. God knows, there's probably more than ever was in this country now. And they're right, because they made a living for themselves. There's people over there that made their businesses. The pubs in New York, for example, they've been handed down for generations upon generations. And it just goes to show you, the really story what they talk about here is how the Irish went with nothing, and they worked themselves up. They worked themselves from the bottom up to the top. And Irish people in America are thought very highly of, and America thinks very highly of Ireland now. Which is a good thing. America is a great country too. You have a good friendly relationship and to talk to. And it's obviously great that you have a power, you're recognising a small country like Ireland. A major power in the world recognising a small country like Ireland. And America, the Americans don't forget what the Irish did for them in the American Civil War, particularly, and probably World War One and World War Two, going into the wars. Those Irish brigades, obviously, in the American Civil War, mostly for the Union, some for the Confederacy. But it just goes to show you that the Irish were willing to die for the American, to end slavery in America. And the amount of Irish volunteers that were in America, and some even left Ireland to go to America, was, because it was a new life, or something. Because in Ireland, at that time, there would have been very, very little you could do. I might as well say, sure, there would have been very, very little. Ireland was very backwards at that time, and obviously lost a huge chunk of its population. So it would have been very backwards. But again, the Irish fought. They fought alongside the Americans in the American Civil War. to achieve your Americans' success in winning against the Confederacy. And then the same World War One, World War Two, thousands upon Irish people, served in the American Army, served in the American Navy. Even in the home front in America, the Irish really were everywhere. Everywhere in the whole wars and everything like that. And I'm sure people would agree. The Irish were really the backbone, and especially straight after the famine when the first ships arrived. And these ships were going across the Atlantic. They were coffin ships. They wouldn't fit the sail. They could sink to. So many people lost their lives because they could sink to the bottom of the sea. But it gives you a story of hope that they can really for nothing. Some people can with some stuff, right? They can with some stuff. They can with something to start off with. But a lot of Irish people just turned up with a hope and a prayer, and that's all. A hope and a prayer that they would achieve a new life in America, they would achieve a better life, and they would send money home to their relatives in Ireland, wherever they be. And the Irish really achieved a lot in America, and I think we all would agree that it's one of the most stories that never talked about, and it should be talked about a lot more. That you see this in Ireland, you see this in America. You see that the Irish were willing to work. They were willing to, basically work to death to build America, and the Irish really did. Like New York, majority New York, Boston, them cities really, like you couldn't get any more Irish in them cities. Pure Irish, pure Irish in them cities. Many other cities across America, but pure Irish in them cities because obviously they arrived into New York. So yeah, I just wanted to leave it there because I'll probably end up going in the history lesson for the next hour. But anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe more and bye.